Hello and welcome to A Second Look. My name is Emmett McConnell. In this series, I break down the big moments and goals from the Philadelphia Union's previous match. This week was a midweek game. The Union hosted FC Cincinnati. Kacper Przybylko scored his second goal in as many games, and Fafa Picault got off the mark with his first goal of the season. The Union are now in first place in the East and have 9 different players who have scored over its 10 matches. The impressive thing for me from this match was the high intensity and pressure that the Union put on Cincinnati high up the field. All the good goals and attacks have come for the Union so far in these recent games from winning the ball in advanced positions or playing very direct forward passes and opening up defenses and moving defenders around. Let's have a second look.
First up is a set of really good chances for Kacper Przybylko. I can't say for sure what is going on in the City defense here, but it was really lazy and poor from the back line in general, especially Kendall Waston. But the big thing that creates this chance is the work ethic to win the ball back by Alejandro Bedoya. The play starts with Bedoya trying to make a splitting pass to Aronson. Eric Alexander gets a foot in, and Mathieu Deplagne is the first to it. Bedoya, however, smothers the defender and pokes the ball away. The Union captain was really clever in this tackle. He sticks out his right foot for the block, and when Deplagne looks for a cutback, he drags his left leg behind the defender to make the tackle. This is the first example of that Union pressure. Cincinnati thought they were out, but the Union win it back, and now Alexander is caught out of the midfield trying to defend on the wing. Waston is in position to defend across here, probably because of how quickly the Union win it back. And Hagland is not even close to Przybylko. I would prefer, if I was Alan Koch, that Waston was here. He could then actually be in a position to reach the near post crossed, and Hagland wouldn't be split between trying to cover the near post and marking his man on a cutback. It is a cutback, and credit to Hagland, he gets low and makes the block. Picault gets to the next ball first and puts in a good first-time cross to the back post. But again, Waston is in a terrible position. Hagland is trying to get up and get to the near post in case of another cutback here to Montero, so he can make another block. But why isn't Waston marking Przybylko? How is he open on both of these crosses? This is the correct positioning. Somehow Waston is beyond the back post, but it still goes over his head anyway. He isn't in a position to attack the ball or make Przybylko's job harder by making the run. Ritchie makes the save, but the best part of the keeping here is his positioning. He gets across the goal quickly and is by no means scrambling when it goes to Picault. Then again for the cross. A lesser keeper is too slow to react and the header goes into an open net. The save was the easy part for him there. It was just instinct and reflexes. The movement was the most impressive. This one is a good example of good movement from Philadelphia to get an opening, but particularly bad defending from Waston again. When Montero drifts wide, you know he wants to cut the ball back onto his right foot. When the pass comes, there isn't that chance, as Leonardo Bertone has slid across into that space. Ray Gaddis makes the pass to Montero and continues his run, and that's what opens this space for Montero to make his move. He does this feint that you will see so often, where he steps beyond the ball with his right foot, dips his left shoulder appearing like he wants to push the ball down the line. Instead, he cuts it back with the outside of his right foot. This will not be the first or last time you see this move from him. Anyway, he cuts to his right, and Bertone is pulled back by the run, so Montero has space to look up and survey his options. As usual, the Union have 3 men stationed in front of the opponent's center backs. As he locks eyes, the forwards begin to make their runs. Aronson comes in, pulling Hagland forward. Picault then runs off his back shoulder, and as Waston tries to step towards Picault, he also has Przybylko running off his back shoulder now. There is also the threat of Bedoya wide on the right wing. As the plan tries to stay centrally and support his defensive partners, Bedoya now has a lot of space to operate in. The pass is a good idea for Montero. Przybylko is on the goal side of Deplagne, Picault is on the goal side of Hagland, and Waston is stuck in the middle. He also could have rewarded Gaddis for the run he made earlier with a pass here, or even played it beyond everyone to Bedoya, who could easily have picked out a cross from this position. The pass in the end is just under hit for Przybylko, and a little overhit for Picault, and is right to Waston. Though really, it's going right to Ritchie, and the defender doesn't need to make a play. If this pass is just curved a little bit higher, so that it gets over the defender and Przybylko, he could have easily headed it across the goal for Picault, whose movement was really good all match, and specifically also here. Again, Waston's clearance is bad, and anything other than a perfect one, honestly, would probably have been gifted to the Union either way, as their positioning is overall very good. A more confident Picault smashes this loose ball first time, but he doesn't see Hagelin on his back, and he thinks he has time to take a touch and settle. He does well to get his shot off in the end, and forces Ritchie to make a good save. Waston, again, is positioned poorly though on this play, and is outside his goalposts. It comes inside of him, and Aronson, who all play was in a good position, not for the initial pass, but for second balls and cutbacks, gets that second ball, but he fires it over the bar under pressure from Kendall Waston. Union appealed for a penalty, but Aronson just misses his shot, and Waston's block attempt isn't malicious. It was a good no call in my book. Here is a good Union counterattack. Previous years, they've wanted to possess the ball after winning it, pass it sideways. Here, it's 3 passes before the shot is taken. Medunjanin gains possession after a Cincinnati attack. They've pushed forward a lot of men upfield and are caught out. There's one forward pass here to Aronson. He turns, and while I think he should run with the ball here, it's also not a bad decision what he does, and plays it to Bedoya, who is so good on this right wing all match. That's the second pass, another forward one. He then takes it forward into a crossing position with no pressure, as Waston is wary of the threat in the box. Now for the last pass. Bedoya has options, and the Union are set up well in the box. He can cut it to Przybylko, beyond Waston at the near post, probably the worst choice. He can float or whip in a back post ball for Picault. A tough pass, but if it comes off, it yields the best scoring chance. Or the easiest pass, and also a pretty good scoring chance, a cutback for Montero. It isn't a really easy shot, but Montero should keep his shot on the ground if possible. Ritchie would then have no chance unless it was right at either of his feet. As it is, it's a little high, and he's able to get his hand up and bat the ball away, and Picault just drifts offside as it's taken. His movement isn't bad, it's just expecting the back post cross. Credit to Ritchie again for getting a strong hand and pawing this one out. Here is the first goal. It isn't the pressure after losing possession on this one, but it's a backwards pass that pulls the Cincinnati defense out that makes the opening. It starts with Montero cutting to his right as he likes to do. Lamah, the left mid, is trying to prevent a pass wide, but after 4 Cincinnati players seemingly allowed Montero to go to his right, he should have instead moved here to better close down the next pass instead of being bypassed as he is in this situation. Montero is able to slot Bedoya, who again, amazing on this right side all game. It's yet another cutback from him that finds a man. It's the third great low cross from him that I've shown, and should have had an assist on the first 2, and maybe even this one if Aronson hits his shot first time. But he sees Waston, and instead controls the ball well under pressure. He twists and turns, and seeing no options, goes backwards from Mbaizo. The young fullback hits it first time, not allowing Cincinnati to get up together in a good line. The straggler, Elvis Powell, is a fraction of a second too slow, and the ball behind at that point is impossible to defend. Przybylko has the time to pick out a spot for his header, and Ritchie has no chance this time. Again, it wasn't the pressure, but it was getting into the box with the first pass from Bedoya, and then Aronson playing it backwards, sucking the Cincinnati defenders up, so that Przybylko has space behind the line. Now, this last one is my favorite instance of the so-called energy drink soccer the Union have been employing this year. Montero starts off, and he likes to play these forward passes that bypass the midfield. I actually really like them too. I think it's a great way to break down defenses. The pass is intended for Ilsinho, but it's just a little too far inside, and it allows Deplan to make a challenge. Montero couldn't have played it further outside and in Ilsinho's path, as Bertone was blocking that angle. He was a little too reliant on Ilsinho moving earlier and coming inside his man, but the movement just isn't there, and the ball turns over. Deplan touches it away for Bertone, and Cincy think they can get the other way, but Montero is already moving to support after the pass and is quick to close Bertone and make a tackle and keep the Union on the attack. Ilsinho now gets a second shot at the ball, this time with the time to settle and run at his man, which, of course, we all know he is so good at. He pulls the center back Kendall Waston wide as Deplan is out of position, and the center back really doesn't want to be isolated like this. Ilsinho makes one step over to the right, and with the threat of Mbaizo overlapping, Waston is leaning in that direction. He knows how good Ilsinho is going to his right foot, and gets caught wrong-footed as the Brazilian then cuts it back onto his left and around the outstretched foot of the defender. Now he has the Cincinnati defender's attention. Waston, Alexander, Hagland, and Deplan are all prepared for Ilsinho to go on another of his wacky runs, and they end up losing the rest of the Union men. Montero is now open on the top of the box, and Picault is running off the shoulder of Hagland like he's done so many times on the night. Nobody's watching him, and he gets a clean run to the shot. He sees Richie coming out and going to the ground as he connects to the ball. And he also knew from a previous attempt that Richie wants to get down early to block the shot. So instead, he lifts it in anticipation, and indeed, Richie goes to down, and it's a perfect chip.
Thanks for watching. That's all I'm going to be going over for this game. If you found this video informational, feel free to check out my past videos. Leave me a review or a thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing. Until next time, when the Union take on the New England Revolution on Saturday, I'm Emmett McConnell. Have a great week.